Hello and welcome to the We Are Birmingham podcast. I'm Chris Golding.
I'm Matthew Elliott.
And as ever, we're joined by the vegan. Good evening, Dave. How are we doing?
Evening, gents. You right? Yep.
Not very well, no.
I'm never well. I'm ill as usual. Got a cold now. Cold and a broken.
Sounds dreadful.
You should probably eat some meat. It might make you feel better.
Yeah.
Have you scanned it? Have you got a broken foot?
I don't
or
know.
Are you still just?
No, it might be.
You still haven't been and got it checked out?
It's probably just reset now, and he's going to have Clubfoot or something for the rest of his life.
So how are we doing? What we've been up to? Anything interesting?
In the 3 or 4 days between the last.
Thick and fast at the moment. Thick and fast.
I think Dave's had an interesting few days taking photos of people.
Went to see Azalea Banks. Is it Azalea Banks? Yeah. Hour late on stage. Other than that, yeah.
What about
Finish
Beverly
at
Knight?
normal time, or was it?
No, short set. You can read
Did
all
it run
about it.
over?
You can read all about it in Amadeus Review.
Okay.
Is that birminghamworld.com? That's a
Something
bit
like
of a
that.
plug
Should
there,
know,
is it?
should know.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, went to that. Did I say Beverly Knight as well? See Beverly Knight.
Yeah.
Obviously. Weird world.
I think I've
weird
seen
life
Beverly
that I
Knight
saw
before.
there.
I saw Beverly Knight at Summerfest, I think. Not 100%, but I think I did. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I
it's
did.
just been confirmed off screen. Golding has seen Beverly
So,
Knight. So you're the only one, Matthew, that hasn't seen Beverly Knight.
I don't believe I've seen Beverly Knight.
Well,
though.
you should do. She was great.
Unfortunately, it's.
She was great.
I mean, I feel left out now, so I'm probably gonna have to, aren't I? So.
go and find it.
Yeah, by next week, please.
If she's playing in Dundee at the weekend, then I may go and check her out.
It's plausible.
In between going to watch ice hockey and all sorts. I've not been up to it a lot.
They
Just
play ice hockey in Dundee.
I have a. Yeah, it's a Dundee.
Beverly Knight
Rockets
plays ice
versus-
hockey
in
in Dundee.
What chances of that?
She a goalkeeper.
And she's singing at half. She's singing the Scottish national anthem at the start of the game.
What? And then going in goal.
Yes, yeah. She's times are hard, Chris. You know, she's got a tour. She's got so. Yeah, I haven't done much this week. I have mostly been stressed. Children. This is a very familiar story. My youngest has been quite poorly, so she was in hospital. And then she's on antibiotics, and she's all right, but it's just been a pretty rough few days. Work is the same as ever, but I'm closing in on a very nice deal. Well, I was closing on this about 4 podcasts ago, but it's getting even closer now. So
It's getting there.
So this is good. But yeah, mostly life. Adulting is just quite stressful at this point in time.
Noticed that you've had time to have a trim, have you? Or had you had that done last week?
I had it done last week, but not at the post podcast. No, yeah, post podcast. So
Can I tell you who hasn't had a
I
trim?
need one because look at this dreadful bit of tuft sticking out.
Shouldn't have worn a white
I knew.
Shouldn't have worn white.
No.
Do you want to
I
put,
knew
do you
that
want
you
to
were
put
gonna
like the
point
little
to-
pause thing up, and you can switch into that shirt behind you?
No, it's fine. I'll plait it. I'll
you
start
just
growing
blend into the collar.
System of a
Nice.
Down beard and knit it all together.
Before long,
It'll all grow.
you will look like you're a member of an early 2000s new metal band.
I don't know if you heard that, but it's just no, you won't.
So how is
Came from
how is Chris? How is Chris doing?
All right. Had a great day out on Saturday. Rotherham,
Did you?
favourite away game, as I keep saying.
Hate the people. Love
Didn't
the
let us
ground.
down. Didn't. Do you know what? The people are all right as well. It's just the area's a bit of a shithole. But no, it's, as I say, it was one of my favourite away games. I hope that they figured out the way they're going to play and whatever this season and get their act in order so that we can play them next season as well. But that's not looking likely at the moment for them. But no, it's always there's the New York Tavern. It's actually a home pub, but they're very welcoming to us. So we were in there beforehand. They do a nice cider that last year they did a strawberry cider, which was very sweet. This year it was a broad oak. It's called broad oak mango cider. I don't know if you can see that. That was a tap. But yeah, that went down very, very easily. So a bit tipsy, but I didn't fart then. That was my Crocs rubbing together. Yeah,
Crocs.
That went down very easily. Yeah, I've got Crocs on. I know, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry, apparently.
I'm the only person in my house that doesn't have a pair of Crocs.
Crocs.
I'm just not willing to do it.
No.
My daughters have like fluffy Crocs, so they have like they have
What
fluff
Crocs?
on the in the inside.
They're my house Crocs, and then I've got a garden pair of Crocs as well. Because they're nice and easy. Anyway, yeah, Rotherham. Let's talk about the Rotherham game.
Well, firstly, Sky referred when they mentioned it. They spoke about from Hollywood to New York, so they were onto that segue that you completely missed out on last week, Dave.
When did we pick it up? Was that after we'd finished, or did we?
No. We did that.
We
We mentioned it. Yeah, when Dave brought it in. So the game itself.
Our best performance of the season.
I think so, because I think it was the game where we looked most dangerous actually going forward. Every time we went forward with the ball, there seemed to be. It was direct in a way that it felt like, not direct as in passing the ball direct, but it was a very attacking performance, I think, and
Purposeful.
Yeah, purposeful. That's the word. So, and it's funny. Obviously, a few times I've mentioned Hansen on here, and I'm wanting to see more from him. That's exactly the Emil Hansen that I wanted to see. So he's still playing within his structure, but actually when he's getting the ball, he's attacking the fullback. He's putting in crosses. He's having shots, and that for me, that's his best performance in a blue shirt, I think. And
Something that we discussed pre-matched with him. Sorry to cut you off there, but something we discussed pre-match before the game in the pub, and we wonder whether it's like the lack of crosses is maybe by design a little bit, because if you look at who's playing or who had been playing, you wouldn't really look and go, oh yeah, get on the end of crosses. Obviously different with having Dykes in there, and Stansfield's not exactly poor, is he? I mean, after the header or the face that he scored with against Wrexham.
His crosses weren't really like crosses of that nature, though, were they? They were more like cutbacks as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think you touched on it last week and mentioned just having like that little bit of confidence. I think there's probably an element of that, and I think he's grown into games. We've seen him a few times. I think Wigan was the other game where he stood out for 20-25 minutes, had a couple of shots, got forward, pulled the ball back a few times. But no, I was really impressed with him at the weekend, and I think I was speaking to somebody the other day that's referred to him as more of like a system type player. So he's almost like, you'll see him just do little bits and bobs. He'll cut back. He'll cut the ball back inside. He'll hang tight to the sideline to create more space. And I mean, obviously his relationship with Cochrane looks pretty strong at the moment as well. So, it's solid
as a rock.
So I just need to. I wanted to see more from him, and that's exactly what I wanted to see. And if we're going to start getting more of that, then brilliant, because that's exactly the sort of player I thought we were getting. The sort of player that gets double goal contributions every season, like he has done over in Holland for the past few seasons. So really impressed with him. I was quite disappointed actually to see him go off, when normally I'm quite keen to see someone else come on. Also quite disappointed to see Lyndon Dykes go off as well, because I thought he played. He wasn't as noticeable as you probably. I think if people watched him, we probably didn't notice him as much, but he did quite a lot up there and put himself about, and he won quite a few headers as well, which obviously you'd expect him to do, being the size he is. He certainly looked like he had the better of the Rotherham centre backs.
Well, if anyone saw me on Davo's video after the game, those mango ciders were definitely showing there that I was a little bit cheery. And my summary of the game was that we mustered, and the way that I referred to us as the Harlem Globetrotters of football in League Two, League One, League Two, fucking hell, yeah, the Harlem Globetrotters of League One, in the way that we just once we got 2-0 up, we looked like we could have gone on and scored 5, 6, 7, but we just toyed with them. We were just enjoying having the ball. It never looked urgent then that and it's not, is it? It's not an urgent thing to go and.
No, the urgency and the purposefulness, as you refer to it as, it was all in the first half. We took that lead, and then in the second half, it was just a very professional performance. But we still carved them open and created a few opportunities, and probably could have scored another couple.
Yeah.
And in theory, probably
that pesky 4-0. Just
in
around
theory,
the
probably
corner.
it should have probably been 4-0. It could have been 5-0. In really. I mean, let's talk about the goals. So obviously, the first one was very, very good. Iwata from outside the box on his other foot.
I'm just going to butt in here with so a lot was made of the Jay Stansfield song, the Shakira song, Waka Waka. Have you heard that, you boys? You've heard it, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I've had the Arsenal version as well, so I figured it's.
Jay Stansfield scores again. 20 million down the drain. Jay Stansfield scores again.
Yeah, there's 60 million down the drain. Havertz scores again. Yeah.
Well, thanks to Luke Stokes from the WAB team. Check this one out.
I want to.
I mean, that one's got to take off.
That's got to stick. That's brilliant. I mean, it's so simple, but it's just so effective. I like that a lot.
I'm not sure if we can get high enough. If we can,
it will probably sound pretty disgusting, I think.
Yeah. We thought it was quite funny. So I had to play it on it. He doesn't know that I'm playing it on here. He hasn't sent that to me directly. That's just something that's gone through WhatsApp groups. And
there we go.
Right, I'm going to stick that on the podcast and try and get it out there. So that'd be quite funny if that can catch on.
But yeah, Iwata, great strike. Again, an absolute lovely performance from him and Peck in the middle as well. So they are proving to be quite a force in there. I was thinking about it after the game, because obviously we've had the Wrexham game and we've had the Rotherham game, and they've been the two games where we've been the most dominant and things seem to have clicked, and the common denominator there is obviously those two playing together. I mean, is that just pure coincidence, or
is there
something in that?
It looked beforehand like it was going to be Peck and Leonard that were forming that partnership. And then Leonard didn't get in the starting line. It's like, bloody hell. Thought that we'd have seen Leonard back. That was after the Walsall game, wasn't it? And it was like, thought that we'd have seen Leonard come back in. And he's had bits and bobs here and there. So it's quite mad when you look at it that when we signed Leonard, there were obviously, what's your mate's name from Northampton, Dave?
James Averill.
James, who came on with us, and he was like, he's like quality. You could tell that he's got the quality about him, best midfielder in League One that you've got there. And now he can't get in the team, and he can't break through that partnership. And I mean, Leonard's looked great to us in the times that we've seen him,
and he can't break in.
Yeah, so I mean, it's great for us having that depth there, knowing that. If or when you have to change either of those two, that you've got him to fall back on.
There'll be times when you might see all three play together as well, you know. It's not out of the question that we might see that. That'd be that's also going to be some midfield. And
then talking about, so should we talk about strike first?
Yes.
Second one in a week. Yeah. It was the Monday night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Second in a week. One on one foot, one on the other. beautiful. Like beautiful technique.
Yeah, and Chris Davies says I didn't think he had that in him. I'm like, "No, surely you must know he had that. Like, you're the one that wanted to go out and sign him. It was like this. He was your signing. You wanted to go and get him. You got him. You didn't know he could shoot with both feet.
Both feet. Wow, we'll take it. Then let's move further forward in midfield, because that pairing, I think we could dwell on them forever.
Yep.
But let's move further forward. Willamson, who has had a slow start, I think, admittedly, from anyone who's watched him, is now starting to really settle in, like game by game, and that pass for the Stansfield goal was just outstanding. Like again, it's for me, it's like what a pass.
Yeah.
It's the pass has created it. I mean, it's a lovely finish as well from the angle and the way that he's taking it, the technique. But the pass has just absolutely put him in.
As simple as I think it was Gardner Hickman that played it square back to him from out on the right hand side, and he'd already taken a defender with him and cut that back to Willamson, and the ball was just it was just outrageous. And then as soon as it, like, you just knew what was going to happen, and the commentators just knew what was going to happen when that ball went dropped over the top. It was inch perfect.
Yeah.
And obviously a fantastic finish, and that's almost the sort of finish you associate with Jay Stansfield as well. I feel sort of that, just running onto it on the edge of the box, coming into the box, and then just striking it past over the keeper. It was, but that again, Willamson. I think it was the Fulham game that my view on him, because I think after I think I said the game was still looking a little bit too fast for him here, and he was getting a little bit out muscled. But since the Fulham game, I don't think that's happened. I think he's been quite robust in the way he's played, and he's put himself about, and he actually was quite useful in the box from set pieces as well, in our own box from set pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's just sort of the combinations he's building with the midfielders and the strikers I think it's what we all need to see, and I think it's the part of the team gelling. But yeah, he's quietly going about his business, and almost he'll do that one thing that's like absolutely sublime, then he'll do lots of little things that you probably don't really notice, but he just pops up all over the pitch, just finds pockets of space and just threads the ball through and just links play really, really nicely. It's actually quite hard to figure out where some of these guys are playing sometimes, because they just dot around quite apart. You've got the two centre midfielders, but then Hansen pretty much always sticks to the left, but then everyone else,
it's quite fluid.
Yeah, it is really fluid. And I think there's like, I was listening to a podcast about American football the other day, and I think it was actually a comment about Seahawks, and there's freedom within structure, and I think this is kind of like, we've got, like, Chris Davies has got a structure here, and we play to that structure, but within that structure there's a certain amount of freedom, and that's where players can interlink and move around into fluidity and create chances, and it's just getting better and better.
I remember back when it was like Trevor Francis management days, and you'd have like one player that you'd say, right, you're in a free role.
Yeah.
And now you're almost as long as you work within the structure, you can have a free role. Like not just one of you, not just two of you, like 2, 3, 4. Because why limit yourself if there's freedom to move in there? And the players have got it in them to play in those different positions and shift around as well, which we've said numerous times. You don't know where we're going to start them, we don't know where they're going to play, and can they mix it up during the game? They're
just so well drilled with it as well. So the more I notice things, like Alex Cochrane will come inside and sometimes almost be like a inverted fullback, who will play almost like centre midfield, and Gardner Hickman will do the same. He's actually stuck a little bit more to the right hand side in the last couple of games, and I think that might be by design. Again, someone who I thought was coming in as a centre midfielder is doing really, really well at right back, right wing back, right winger, whatever you want to call him.
Wherever he fancies it.
It's going to be quite difficult for Alphonse Samsted to get in, and Ethan Laird, when he comes back, might also struggle to get back in. But this is what we want.
Yeah. Well, talking about players talking about it being talking about it being difficult for players to get back in. Christian Bielik was at the game on Saturday, mingled with the fans afterwards. Yeah. Do you think it's going to be difficult for him to get back in? Because I thought Davies had a decent enough game.
I thought it was very good. He came out. I heard people talking about how his ball retention and playing out from the back could be quite poor, but I didn't think there was. I didn't feel that there was no nervousness around the back four. They had a couple of attacks in the first couple of minutes where they looked moderately dangerous, and you were like, I'm not sure about this. But then once we got a foothold in the game, there was no issues, and just whilst we're on the back four, no nervousness. Before Peacock Farrell was much better from a possession point of view and claiming balls in the box and stuff like that as well on Saturday. But I mean, Davies is on a hide into nothing really, because could have gone in there and played like lights out, scored a hat trick, and Bielik could still come in back into team on Saturday. He's the team captain, so
the only thing that you could potentially say is that, okay, he served his suspension now, but as the manager, do you want to punish him almost for the, should we say, stupidity, moment of madness, and to lack of professionalism at that time to make that decision to get yourself sent off?
I mean, he may have been fined a week's wages, so he might for getting the red card anyway. So
maybe, but I don't think that Bielik could have any qualms about it if he did do that.
No,
obviously we'll come on to that. I'm with you. I think your captain for the season comes back in, but we'll talk about that when we get on to. Well,
speaking of captains, it's probably a good time to mention marauding centre back Christoph Clara. Honestly, if he had that run, if he just had that little extra yard of pace,
took a shot.
Oh my God!
I thought he had the opportunity to just.
I was off my seat. I was
in
my living room. I would have been after if he'd scored that. I would have been. Yeah. Oh, if he'd scored that, my word, that would have been some goal. How impressive is he looking though as well? He just does everything, doesn't he? And again, like all over the pitch, all over the right hand side of the pitch, like absolutely everywhere. He gets so far forward, and he can put in a decent ball as well.
Yeah,
I'm so impressed with him.
He's looking
so
really
impressed
good.
with him.
An absolute, considering as well that he's been in England before. It seems mad that no one's followed his career progression and snapped him up like above this, because you'd think that he could be playing championship football at least. So
yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that anybody would try and bid for him in January, because I think it'd be quite easy for us just to say bugger off and yeah. But yeah, I mean, he's gonna. You could see him potentially attracting interest if he carries this on. Same with quite a few of them, to be honest. But so impressive, like just. I mean, it's very hard to. I don't think there was a single player that I was disappointed with. Like the only thing I was disappointed with, I kind of wish we'd scored more goals.
Two more goals for the 4-0.
For you, just for you.
Thanks, mate.
But I mean, and then obviously Steve Evans was really complimentary afterwards. And
I was just going to say, should we?
Aye.
Oh no, we can't, can we? Because he wasn't even a dick about it.
It was quite funny because obviously pre-match he was very complimentary of us, and I think from my point of view, you listen to that, and I might be wrong, but it's almost like, is he doing this on purpose because he wants us to become complacent or
mind games?
Yeah, and there was probably an element of that because for whatever we think of Steve Evans, he is quite good at that side of the game. So are we going to get complacent, naive, etc.? But no, obviously not. We had a couple of minutes at the start of the game where we had to grow into it and take control of it and completely dominated them. And I mean, it could have been 4-0, as you say, but he was really, really complimentary, and he said obviously he was one of the best team I think he'd seen in League One ever, or something along those lines. very hard to dislike anything about him after the weekend. I'm sure we'll see him going bright red and arguing with someone else around Rotherham's
soon
level in a few weeks when something doesn't go his way. But I think we might find more and more managers of other teams do this as well. They'll either say, well, what do you expect? They've spent 25 million or whatever. Because a lot of people, I applaud them, I really do. If they can go out there and do that, then so be it. If they can, or there's going to be people that say, yeah, the really, really good team, like you're watching one of the best teams in League One here, they're going to go straight up. Or it's going to be, well, what do you expect? Look what they can spend compared to us, and yeah, it's going to be.
But you just hope that anyone with that attitude understands why we're in that situation, and it's not that it's not like when you're in the Prem and you get relegated and you get the parachute payments and you go off like that does my head in completely. This is a completely different situation to that, and I just hope that people are realistic and understand it. And like talking to Rotherham fans before the game at the weekend, and they were complimentary about us like beforehand, saying like you're gonna smash it. They think we're going to smash it this season, but like no bitterness from them in any way. Like they knew last season what was coming, and they were like, "We didn't want you to get relegated." Like that game at their place, the Ollie Burke game, they wanted us to win it almost so that we weren't competing against them. But I think the way that we're now setting this winning mentality. It's probably done us a favour.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of fans that don't like the way that we celebrate after, or that the team and the manager celebrates after the game. And, I don't really have a problem with it. I don't really find it cringeworthy or anything. But, I mean, it's just Chris Davies' first job. You've got to enjoy these moments, haven't you? And I think
I'm going to say it's not for me, personally. But I don't have an issue with it and people doing it. And people constantly want that bond between manager and fans and team and fans.
Yeah.
And it invites that. So there's no issue with it. I'd probably more prefer the managers just coming over and like clapping the fans and
tapping the badge and punching.
Yeah. But like, it is what it is. And do you know what? He's only responding to the fans that they're going, oh, so it's...
Well, the first time he didn't really want to do it, did he? I think they took the players took him over to the fans the first time. I think it was a Charlton game, wasn't it, in the Cup originally when it first happened. But it's kind of a thing now, so just enjoy it, especially away from home as well, because games are difficult to win away from home. So
Jay Stansfield got pushed into it as well. I think it was Alfie May that shoved him into...
Yeah,
to have his go at it. I was going to say rewards, but is it a reward to have his applause?
The adulation.
Yeah. But that was quite nice. It was quite nice seeing Jay do it, because it was.
So let me ask you this about Jay Stansfield. Did Blues 8 Mile it with Jay Stansfield with the "What a Waste of Money"? So they start singing that before the opposition get to start singing it. So they get that out of the way nice and early. So
you asking me?
Yeah. You probably can't remember, can you?
I think that's going to be a thing ongoing. That it's clearly not a waste of money, is he?
Yeah,
and is he Chewy? Is he? Let's touch on that.
We'll see. It's early days. We'll see. It's early days. So
you didn't want to sign him.
He started. I didn't want to sign him for the money involved. It was a problem, but he's paying it back quite quickly, isn't he? So providing we go up on 136 points, I'll be happy. So I don't think that League One's seen a player of his quality since Jay Stansfield played in League One. So there you go. There's a lot of players in our team that have the same amount of quality, if not more. So that people are seeing it. They're just having to get them. They're just watching them all on at the same day at the same time.
There is a hell of a lot of quality, isn't there? There is.
Yeah, it's mad. Like I was looking at I was looking at the Peterborough squad earlier on, and just thinking like they've got a few injuries and stuff at the moment, and we obviously will get onto that later. But I was looking at Huddersfield squad, just thinking, there's nobody that can get near this squad in this league at all, and probably the Championship, which is what I was going to say about the bitterness from fans. Most of it seems to be coming from Championship teams. Like there's still a lot of Derby fans that have problems. You see a lot of Villa and Wolves and stuff like that. This is still happening because I think just obviously local rivals. But I saw someone mention maybe Chris Davies being a favourite for the Cardiff job, and it just fucking made me it made me giggle, because it's like that's obviously not going to happen, is it? It's like not. We're probably paying Chris Davies far more than most managers in the Championship anyway. But I mean,
or if not, there's the potential to on promotion.
The project is he had the chance to go to Swansea, didn't he? And other Championship clubs, and he turned them down because it wasn't right for him. I think he's got everything he wants and needs here. So. That was a bit of on a tangent there, but the bitterness from fans, it seems to be. There's still a few League One fans that seem to have a bit of it. Reading fans seem to have a bit of their arse on, but I think it's because they're just having such a shit time themselves at the moment with their club in terms of just the ownership and things like that.
I'll tell you what I did see on social media. So you're saying about any players in the any quality players around the league, and that not many would get into Blues team. There was a Barnsley fan arguing with some Blues fans that their midfield are better than ours. And
that's been going on for a little while now. That has a few weeks. Yeah, I think I don't know if there was something from a podcast or something from a fan account. Don't know if it was a Barnsley fan account, but they said the Barnsley midfield was one of the best combinations, the best pairing in the league, and then Blues fans, as they do.
Is it Luke Connell and Craig?
Something like that. I've not taken much notice of the Barnsley team. I think it's Lucas Connell or something like that. I think that's one of them definitely. I don't know who the other one is, but
that'll be an interesting game, won't it?
We'll see, because they're doing quite well at the moment.
They're Cosgrove as well.
Yeah, they're third in the league at the moment. Is that third or fourth in the league at the moment?
Third.
They've climbed up the table recently.
That was one of the bizarre parts of the conversation that I saw the other day, was that they were saying we're only one place behind you in the league. It's like, yeah, but there's a handful of games that have been played so far, so there's still a long way.
It was funny. Saturday was the only time I'd looked at the League One table to see where we were. Cause I thought, we could be top now, because I think at the time Wrexham were 1-1, and I thought, we must be close to being top now. So I thought, go and have a look. And that was the first time I'd looked at it. I was like, we are top. And then obviously a few minutes later, Wrexham ended up scoring. I was like, well, we've still got our game in hand. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll probably pay more attention after we have this run of games. We get to about 10 games, and then that's when I think the table will start to take shape. And
I think more in the second half of the season as well.
We've got, I mean, for us though, I think because we've got this run of games against who would consider to be the other challengers. So we've got Wrexham, Rotherham, Peterborough, Huddersfield,
Charlton,
then Bolton in a few weeks as well. So I'm over for that Bolton game. Need to find out if it's going to be moved a day or not. I'm still waiting to find out about that, but I should be over either way. That run of games, I think, is quite key for us. So, yeah, well, my ferry is booked. I just need to extend it a day, and I might have to then spend a day in the head office in Manchester when I'm back over. So that'll be the day after. But I'm definitely over for it either way.
Well, we've moved on a little bit from Rotherham.
From the game, yeah.
So I'm going to go into a new sort of mini feature that we're going to have.
I'm excited.
I haven't told you boys about this yet. Now, what we're going to do every couple of weeks or so, we're not going to have 15-second opinions, and instead what we're going to do is we're going to hear from an official supporters club member. So from around the different branches, they can tell us a bit about their supporters club, where they meet, where they're based, give us a little roundup, and this is it.
Introducing the OSC. It's the official OSC. It's the official supporters club for you and for me.
Who says AI is dangerous?
You got a beautiful voice, Chris.
That's not me. Definitely not me.
I do not know what to say about that. I hope the opinion is better.
Well, let's hope the first opinion isn't the Northern Ireland one.
Otherwise, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Chewy, you're up.
Go.
No. So the first one up is from Derbyshire Blues OSC, and it's Mark Bettridge.
Hi everyone, I'm Mark Bettridge from Derbyshire Blues OSC. We're actually one of the first OSCs to form last year, so we've had quite a lot of opportunities to meet up now, and it's been great getting together, chatting about all Blues stories and hopes for the future. Usually we meet up at the Masons in Mickleover on the first week of every month. So if anyone's in the Derbyshire area, please do reach out and come on down. You're more than welcome to come along and hopefully then join the OSC. Wherever possible, also meet up before the home games or travel together for away games. It's been really good to experience the positive atmosphere in the front of the Cop this year. All the changes that we made there and the upcoming fan park are really positive. A number of members have not only met up, but they've also travelled together for the away games. So Huddersfield, Leicester, Rotherham. And we even bumped into a couple of ex-Blues players along the way. We're lucky enough that we've had the opportunity as well to have Ian Clarkson in for one of our meetings, and when we shared some of his Blues memories with us, that was really great. What an amazing transformation though that's going on with the Blues. If you just compare now to a few years ago, it's absolutely incredible. The investment that they've put in is huge. Yeah, we've dropped down to League One, but it's proven what an opportunity to regroup, rebuild. The way that we're outplaying teams and battering them is such a massive improvement on the football we've seen over the last 8 or so years. As one of the Blues fans next to me at Rotherham said, the clubs we're playing this year might be in our division, but they're not in our league. And it's true. This really is a good time to be a Blues fan. We've had so many years of hurt, and now this is when we're actually seeing it improve. All signs do point towards the hope that many of us have of eventually reaching the Premier League coming true. Off the back of that, my prediction for this Saturday is that we're going to win 2-0, and then my prediction for the season is that we're going to win the league comfortably, setting a brand new League One points record at the same time. Keep right on.
Thanks for sending that in, Mark. 2-0 on Saturday. Be a good result. I could see that, to be fair, although we don't know. We'll look forward to Peterborough later on. Good to see a little bit about Derby. I stopped in Derby on the way to Rotherham actually on Saturday. Had a pint there.
Oh,
no, had a pint and then got picked up by PT. So yeah, cheers for that. Well, I think one thing that we've just sort of touched upon while that was being recorded, we need to get a best and a worst thing about everyone's location. So your favourite thing about Derby, your least favourite thing about Derby, but maybe we'll do that for another one. If you've got any suggestions on it, send them in. But thank you, Mark.
Right, moving on from all about Derby to all about the rest of League One. Matthew.
Oh, around the league.
So what day is it today? Is it Tuesday?
It's whatever day people are listening.
We're recording on the Tuesday, aren't we? Yeah. So
Yeah.
So have a little scan this week, or over the last week.
Everything all right?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I've had more scans this week than Dave's had on his foot. So.
No. I'm going to get that done at some point. I just don't know when.
Wait, it's literally too late. It's reset, and you've now got clubfoot for the rest of your life. So you just kind of have to fucking deal with it.
Is that actually a thing, or just a Kasabian song?
Yes, it is. Yeah. It is yeah, Google it and have a look, and that's how you're going to be for the rest of your life. Apologies to anyone that has suffered from clubfoot or that may listen to this. Probably not.
It's a niche demographic.
Anyway.
Blues fans that listen to the Birmingham podcast and have clubfoot.
Is a Clubfoot OSC? That's because if they are, they could be on the next time we do it, just to give us a little bit of insight into
Dave. Dave could be their new member.
Dave's gonna have to sign up for 2 OSCs now, isn't he?
Look, I tell you what, if I get my X-rayed, I'll bring the X-ray on and hold it up.
Yes, please do. In fact, rather than have you on video, we'll just have your X-rayed foot for the whole of the podcast on the recording.
Can we now call this episode Clubfoot, please?
Yeah, maybe. You could always use like the.
What is it?
Without googling it, so basically, if you think. I think babies can be born with clubfoot. So essentially, your foot ends up at it's like a right angle off your ankle. You have to. Children will have to have like restructural surgery and then put into like what you call it, like walking boot type thing. But it's more like there's bolts into your legs and stuff like that. Okay. So it's almost like
straight feet.
Scaffolding around it. Yeah, for now. For now, Dave. Yeah. For now, it's like
anyway.
Yes.
Let's try this again.
Ooh, around the league.
So you've had a scan. You haven't got.
Had a scan around. Yes, I haven't got clubfoot. No. I think the main one for League One at the moment is obviously the Reading takeover falling through after being so close to, or being in the final stages. Sounds like it's been pretty bad for them. They've just pulled out of their under 21s out of a Premier League tournament as well, because they can't afford to travel to and from all these games with multiple category 1 teams playing in it, and then I think there's a few non-league teams as well. Essentially, they can't afford to pay for that, so they're pulled out of that. So they're looking to the Premier League are looking to replace them. It's unfortunate for them, but I mean their fans have been right arseholes since that first game. So I mean, whilst I do feel sorry for them, just let them suffer a little bit longer. So did anyone see this one about for the Northampton Town player from last weekend, Patrick Bruff? So he broke his leg towards the end of the game.
Did he get a scan?
Against so this is relevant actually, funny enough, and from Northampton Town. This is not just a coincidence.
Did he play on?
He played on. They played Huddersfield. They'd beaten Huddersfield 3-0. He'd broken his leg towards the end of the game, and I think they'd already made all their subs, so he couldn't come off anyway. But he carried on playing. At that time, just sort of picked up a minor injury. Afterwards, turned out he had broken his leg, which is bad. Do you remember? We had someone that was it Martin Granger that did something similar years ago, wasn't it, as well?
Just against, I think it might have been against West Brom.
Yeah, I was at the game. I remember being at the game.
And the Man United game, his knee had basically completely crumbled, and he scored that goal.
The free kick. Yeah.
So yeah.
Remember that one as well. Oh, so speaking of, so the Paul Furlong thing about him getting sent off. Yeah. He didn't get sent off. So now I remember,
even though your dad commented.
Even though my dad said, he said he did get sent off. It wasn't that game. That was an away game, I think, against Huddersfield. It was a home game. I couldn't find the story, but he didn't get sent off. He got subbed early, and he threw his shirt at Trevor Francis, and then went straight down the tunnel towards the end of the game. I don't remember who that was against or what the score was, but I remember that quite distinctly. That's the night that we saw him on the way.
That you saw him on the way back
on the M6. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, that was essentially it. And on the Northampton Town thing, actually, it's the 30th birthday of their stadium, Sixfields, as well. Did you know that, Dave?
I think I read about it. It's still not finished. I think spent 30 years finishing it, haven't they?
Yeah, they're doing like commemorative bricks with people's fans' names on. They're going to do up the walkway up to the stadium, that apparently as well. So,
that's not what they're using to build the stadium, and that's why it's taken so long.
This is so that's maybe, basically it. So
they actually concentrated on finishing the fucking thing.
Anyone else got a brick so that we can build the pool? No. Takes a while.
It is ridiculous that our ground has managed to be condemned, left, and rebuilt in the time that the cobblers have faffed around trying to find out who nicked 10 million quid from them, and doing nothing. But they'll get there.
I mean, we can probably feel quite grateful for that. To be honest with you,
absolutely.
It could have still been left fall into pieces.
But there we go. That was me for Around the League. There was a few other little bits and bobs that weren't very interesting that I found out. I can run through them if you want, but they're not very interesting, so I decided to just...
Can we have a little token gesture for the... I'm not sure if we mentioned it the other week, because I don't think we had a Around the League.
Is this going to be the guy that sneezed and put his back out?
Did we mention that last week?
No, we didn't. We didn't. We were going to, but we completely. I think we just forgot about doing it, didn't we? I forget his name now, but it's a Bolton player, wasn't it? But just there are some funny injuries.
I think it was Achu.
Fuck off. Victor Achu.
Imagine.
Very good.
So that would be as bad as there was a news article today. Here's one for you.
Send yourself to Cornea again.
No. So AFC Wimbledon, whose stadium has flooded and had a sinkhole in it. There was a news article about that story by, I think it was like James Flood.
I saw that. Yeah. I did see that, actually. It made me laugh. So, is it? So they're going to play all their games at MK Dons now, then, or what? None of their fans are listening to this, are they? Don't look at me like that. Come on. Can you imagine?
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's something that you missed from Around the League. Or was that going to be in there? Oh, no, it's League 2.
League 2, yeah. So that's why I don't use it.
Around the leagues.
Around the league.
Okay. Right.
I did like the story of the Wrexham player that they forgot to take back. Did you see that?
Fuck! Did I miss that? How did I miss that? When you look for news around the league, Wrexham pop up all the time, and normally it just gets lost in there.
So what happened, Dave?
I'm sure I'm not making this up. That they just left one of their players at Birmingham and just didn't get on the coach. I'm sure this wasn't.
It wasn't James McLean.
Was it James McLean? Was it?
I don't know. Hang on. Let me. You guys carry on. I'll double check how this makes.
I mean, we've finished. We just waited on you.
Got it. George Dobson.
Oh, he's a decent player, actually.
Yeah. Clearly couldn't be fucked to take him back.
Maybe we tried to sign him before.
Outside of the transfer window.
We can do anything we want now. We pretty much do. So.
Is it like one of those? You know, whenever there's an Olympics, there's like Olympic team members that just go missing in the host country. It was just like just a very localized version of that with George Dobson trying to go missing in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Well, to be
thanks
fair,
for bringing that one up though, Dave, because I didn't know about it.
So I wonder if that's what happened to Bielik after the game on Saturday, and why he was just like meandering through fans. Because when we saw him, he was actually walking up, and they've got fences in between along the pathway where Blues fans were walking down to stop the home fans being there. And he'd walked up from the stadium to the fence, and he was like can you just let me through? And they were like, no, just let him through.
Yeah.
Like, God knows where he's going. I imagine just that he'd driven up and parked like in some on a side road somewhere. Anyway, another section for you then.
Yeah, because we've got so many players out.
Oh, it's Sloan Watch.
Fuck's sake. I forgot about that.
Cheers, Bobby Joe.
Forgot about that. So many players out on loan at the moment. I thought it'd be nice to have a
it's
quick...
Sloan
Oh, fuck God's sake. I'm not saying it.
Okay.
Oh, it's Sloan Watch.
Right.
Oh, it's Sloan Watch.
Right. We'll press it again.
So, of course, Josh Home went on loan last week, didn't he, to Gateshead? He went home, yeah. Josh Home went home. Josh Home, go home. He has not played for them yet. He's not been in. They played tonight, and he wasn't in their squad. And he wasn't in their squad on Saturday either. So I'm guessing he must be just getting up to speed with things there. Ramel Donovan played a couple of games. I think he came on as a sub last week. They lost 2-1 to Barnsley. Started tonight in the EFL Trophy. I think they lost. Tyler Roberts started at the weekend in their Northampton's 3-0 away win at Huddersfield, which is very impressive. Huddersfield again.
Did they sign Tyler Roberts by mistake, thinking that they were getting someone to do the tiling in the stadium?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
That one did it.
Oh my God. Where was I? Yeah, so that was obviously the same game where Patrick Brow had broken his leg as well. But yeah, Huddersfield, funny enough, got beaten tonight as well by Blackpool, I think, who seem to be on quite a good run ever since Steve Bruce has gone in there. So they look like they might be. Yeah, it's Blackpool. Could be quite dangerous. So it's a team to watch out for.
I did have the fixtures all up on here, and they've gone. I had all the games tonight.
So I think most people know about George Hall, got injured again. So he missed out at the weekend at Walsall. He was back in the squad on the bench tonight. I don't know if he came on or not. Fogarty and Dunfermline, their fans seem to like him from little bits I've read online. I think he did get booked quite early on Saturday, but he seems to be doing okay. Junior Dixon, I think, scored a couple of goals a few weeks ago. He scored again on Saturday. It is Boreham Wood, isn't it? Won 6-0 at the weekend, and he scored a goal in that route as well. So he seems to be finding his feet there. Was that just a 6 month? Is he
starting games there, or?
I think he started at the weekend. Has he? It's just a 6 month loan for him, isn't it? Or is it? It's not 12 months, is it? Do you remember? I'm just wondering whether they might look to loan him out again,
him a bit higher,
upper level, depending on how well he does until Christmas. But
if it was for a league team, then it would have to be January anyway.
Mm. Yeah, no, I think.
And I'm sure that they'll have that option there if it was a season long loan anyway. I can't remember what it was, to be honest with you.
But I couldn't remember who else was out on loan. I guess there's other youngsters out. I noticed when I was looking at the Gateshead squad actually for Josh Home that Oliver Basie, one of the goalkeepers we had a few seasons ago, I think we released him in the summer. He's gone to Gateshead now, so he's part of their squad as well. So yeah, and then I had a quick look to see the minutes how Jordan James was getting on at Rennes, and he's barely played. I think he's had like 2 or 3 sub appearances and played about 20 minutes. So yeah,
I
hasn't
did
managed
see
to
about that on Twitter that it's not landed great for him. But
it's going to take a while. I mean, I suspect he doesn't speak a word of French either, does he? Or he may do, but with
I'm sure that
Jude,
he might know. Hello,
Jude.
Bonjour.
Yeah, he probably does. But as we know with Jude was doing German lessons in sort of secret, wasn't he?
In preparation for moving to Real Madrid. To
Borussia Dortmund. But he was probably having Spanish lessons when he was at Borussia Dortmund. He's always that well prepared. But no, so yeah, I think obviously a few players out on loan seem to be doing all right for themselves at the moment. Donovan's the one you want to see really break into that Burton Albion team and start
Making a
consistently,
name for himself,
making a name for himself, so he can come back next season and really kick on with Blues. Right, should we finish off with home game against Peterborough on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I mean, there's a little teaser before we've started recording tonight. Red lights in the club shop.
Oh right, that sort of bat signal type.
Yeah.
Soon.
Indicating a red kit potentially, or what was it? What was last season's colour? Because I think that looks very close. Cobalt.
Coral.
You think it's going to have
Coral.
you think it's going to have a specific name? It won't just be red and black.
Pinky,
It'll be,
like pinky, reddy,
Sequoia.
orange. Pinky, reddy, orange. To give it its technical name.
It's
coral.
Crimson.
Is it crimson?
Crimson, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, whatever last season's kit was, I think it's that. But no, it's not last season's kit.
Well, that would be silly. Wouldn't have already got that, so I need to save myself some money.
Hints of that. It to me, it looks like there might be a badge. There might be a badge on it. I think the badge might be
that brand
crimson
new information.
The tick might be what the badge might be
on the shirt.
The badge is going to be on it. Yeah, they're going to put it's going to be plain with a badge and a sponsor badge.
It's going to have a plane on it.
Well, Delta, yeah.
Okay, get you. I like it. Wouldn't that be on the sleeves now?
Yeah, just it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's it obviously looks like it's black. This is probably going to be out tomorrow anyway, isn't it? So we're sort of predicting what it's going to be. But yeah, black with some red on it.
Black with red trim.
An actual red badge.
Yeah, based on that, on the tweet, on the thing they put on socials, then you'd make the assumption that it's going to be red tick, red badge, probably a red,
just red,
undefeated sponsor. Speaking of which, undefeated, right? So you've got the tally chart, undefeated for 5. How many games have Blues undefeated in the league? 5.
Ooh.
Is this a bad omen?
Or no, 6.
In the league? Is it 6 games?
Oh, 6 for... Oh, yeah, because we haven't lost in the league yet, and we've played 6 games.
We've played 6 games. Maybe
there you go.
Maybe I'm thinking of victories, I don't know. So hopefully we don't stop there. But yeah, I thought for some reason we only played 5 games, but obviously we haven't.
We'll just... That undefeated badge will just have to shrink, and then they'll start counting all of
start
the
doing more. Yeah,
games.
keep doing different
and
ones.
And then there'll just be loads of mini undefeated.
It's like one of those
badges.
old cartoons or films where the guy in prison would just do his tally chart on the wall, see how many days he's on there, and that's what we're going to do until we've got 136.
That's points. 136 wins.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I'm having a mare of this one.
136 undefeated games.
Could you imagine that? That would be this next season's top. just
loads of tallies.
Just loads of points all over it. Oh my god, what a mare that was. Yeah, so what we're saying, black with red trim, essentially red sponsor.
I'm not even sure there's going to be any trim. I think it might be like red, hint of red, bit of red sponsors.
That's cool. Trim. Like there's not going to be like
crimson.
I don't know.
I think what we can establish is through after 5 minutes talking about this, we can guarantee it's going to be red.
just all red.
Or red it will not be, and will look really stupid.
We just won't publish
like
it.
When we like last week when we were talking about the coaches and the coaches coming in, and then about half an hour afterwards we find out Tom Huddleston's going to be going to be joining the coaching staff after we've already recorded the podcast. And
just as Dave's editing it and about to put it out there.
that can get in the bin. Anyway,
without some important video features on there as well.
So Peterborough then.
I'll definitely remember to put everything on. Who do I need to apologise to? What's his name?
Will Brazier.
Will, sorry.
Did it just have our faces? Just
I don't know. You didn't rewatch it?
I've been on it. I'm not going to sit there and listen to it as well, am I?
Anything could have happened at the end. I could do anything with the ending of it now.
Anything you could anyway. You could. So when you get us to clap and me to slap my face and slap my head, you could just put a compilation of me slapping myself in the middle of the podcast. I'd never know.
I wouldn't do that. I'm definitely doing that.
So that's going in this week. You could put it on the end of one of them. So I'll tell you what we're going to do before we get into Peterborough, because we were talking about the league tables and stuff of predictions appearing now on the screen, Dave. Will Brazier goes 5th. Is that? I think. And let's get Dime Dropper. Let's get his prediction for the. So we mentioned him last week on here. I couldn't think of his name. Met him at Rotherham on Saturday. Came over, had it at home and away game. Had a great time. Lived it up. Let's hear from him.
What's up, Blues fans? Just got back home. My prediction for the Peterborough game at St. Andrews is going to be, I'm going with 3-1 Blues. And then, he's on fire right now. Why not? 20 million down the drain. Jay Stansfield scores again. 3-1 Blues. Keep right on. Thank you so much. And good luck the rest of the season.
So there you go. That's the song, in case you hadn't heard it. Cheers for that, Dime Dropper. It was good to meet him at the weekend. Very briefly. I was very drunk. As I've said.
How many peach ciders did you have?
Wasn't counting.
Mango ciders.
Mango, yeah. I completely forgot that there were mango.
Which fruit cider will you be drinking this week?
I'm probably going to go back on beers. It was only because none of the lager tickled my fancy, and they have a nice nice cider on. So that was the reasoning. So there you go. Let's move on. Let's have a. What do you know about Peterborough, Chewy? Not the place.
I know they've got quite a few injuries at the moment. They're struggling at present. Obviously, Darren Ferguson is there on his 830th time round because they just keep bringing him back. I think it's actually is he back? Is it his 5th time? On a serious, I think it's his 5th time back as manager there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5th time. Yeah. All right. 5 times back there. Obviously, we know they play good football. They nurture players very well. And obviously, they've got quite a good system going there. Very complimentary about us as well, wasn't he, Darren McAnthony, their owner, and like the way we're going around spending money. I do like.
How many of their players did he say we tried to
4,
sign?
I think, yeah, 4, and he said no to. I wonder which ones they were. I don't know. I think we know. Obviously, one was the one that the kid that went to Sheffield United, and I think there was Cipriano as well, the centre midfielder. That makes sense. But anyway, obviously they're one of those teams in League One that are always going to be up and around the top 6, top 7. Going to be. They play football the right way. They nearly always will score goals. They're always one of the ones you put if you ever do like both teams to score. I think the majority of people tend to put Peterborough into those bets because most of the time, I mean, they drew 2-2 tonight against Leyton Orient away from home. Yeah, I think it's one of those games that could be a tough one. We haven't played them that many times over the years.
I'll tell you what. So if you remember earlier in the season, Harry Anders. Or Anders.
Not this guy.
this guy that actually probably deserved
Aye, send him to Cornea.
Earlier in the season, he probably deserved that.
He's doing
he's doing a preview for us. Let's see if
I'm intrigued by this to see which end he's going to.
Essentially, he said, if for people that didn't see it, he said, we're going to lose our first game, we're going to lose our second game, we're going to sack the manager by
before Christmas or
October,
something.
November or something. Yeah.
And we'll finish 7th or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, long way to go.
Because that's what we do. We just sack managers.
Yep. Long way to go.
And there'll be a mess, yeah.
Yeah. Long way to go. Doesn't look like that's happening. So, let's see if he doubles down.
Hello. My thoughts on Peterborough season so far is that we have started somewhat inconsistently. We're coming off a summer where we lost 3 of our starting defenders in Josh Knight, Ronnie Edwards and Harrison Burrows. And we're trying to get used to a bit of a new setup in the team. We've managed to keep our midfield, which is great, Archie Collins and Hector Cipriano. And we look like we might have some promising new wingers coming through the door through Oddo, who might start, and also Kean Hayes, who's more of a squad player at the moment, but has shown flashes in the games that he's been involved in. I think that we're still on course to finish 6th, which was my prediction at the beginning of the season, but it's going to take us gelling a bit better and, as I say, being a bit more consistent. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. In terms of where Birmingham are dangerous, they are, of course, a very dangerous side in League One. It's a good period for clubs actually in the Birmingham area. Some of them are dangerous in the Champions League and the Premier League, but, you know, Birmingham are a very, very good and dangerous League One side. We will need to watch out in more or less every area of the pitch, and we are under no illusions that players like Jay Stansfield are capable of putting any defender at this league under significant pressure. We do have tall centre-backs, and they may be able to deal with any crosses that come in. But even if he's bottled up, you've got several other options, and it's going to take us playing our best to walk away with anything from the game. My thoughts on what Birmingham need to watch out for this weekend are really our press. We have Ricky J. Jones, who is probably the quickest player in League One, possibly even the quickest player in the Football League. And at striker, he can do a very good job of pressing, also breaking through the lines. And if you see our goal against Bristol Rovers on this weekend just gone that he scored, you'll see how deadly his pace can be. We are a good passing side. We play very patiently and methodically. And while I expect Birmingham will cause us a lot of problems with them themselves holding the ball for quite a long, for quite long spells, if we're able to get the upper hand in parts of the game, then there's a good chance that we'll get at least 1 goal at St Andrews. Yeah, ever the optimist, I think that we're going to walk away with a surprise result and win 2-1 at St Andrews. I obviously have a little bit of infamy online for predicting that Birmingham would finish 7th in our crazy predictions segment of our podcast before the season started. It is a long season, and although you've started very, very well, plenty of teams have started well and then not been promoted. And I believe we could be the first blip, potentially, for you on your road for the rest of the season. I think you'll dominate, and I think it'll be a smash and grab, and we will win 2-1 at St Andrews.
I think there's a bit of fishing going on there.
The comment about the Champions League and stuff like that was...
I'm not even sure he believes the prediction. Like, I'm not sure that... Maybe. I don't know how much he's just sort of out.
He's just a troll, isn't he? I think he's just doing it for reaction. So, but thank you ever so much anyway. We do appreciate it.
Thank you, Harry. It was lovely to hear from you, and I hope you're completely wrong and that you get smashed this week. Not you personally, obviously, but that Peterborough gets smashed this weekend. Now, something that we did a couple of weeks ago, you weren't with us, Chewy, but Joe was on, and Ben from Blues Breakdown gave us a little bit he appeared like up here, and gave us a little bit of insight into Wrexham, I think it was. So he's back to join us with a little bit about Peterborough. Let's hear from him now.
Hello listeners, Ben from Blues Breakdown here again to preview the weekend's game against Peterborough. Chris did ask me to preview the Rotherham game last week, but I was too busy getting a trim and shaving my beard, unfortunately.
Unlike me.
Posh currently occupy 10th position in League One with 10 points from their opening 6 games. In contrast to the 2 previous games against Wrexham and Rotherham, sides who are happy to concede possession and go long, Peterborough are much more comfortable on the ball. They are currently 3rd in League One for average possession with 59% behind Blues and Crawley Town, both of whom are averaging above 60%. However, unlike Blues, where the ratio of possession to possession in the opposition third is very equal, Peterborough's possession is predominantly in their own half. This deep possession comes with risk. No side has been turned over more frequently whilst trying to play out from the back than Posh. You suspect Chris Davies and Blues will be targeting Peterborough's young back line with their press, hoping to force a mistake in this way. Going forward, however, they do pose a significant threat. League One's top scorers last season boast attacking talents such as Kwame Poku, Ricky J. Jones, Joel Randall and Malik Mothersill, amongst others, in their ranks. Despite only ranking 14th in the league for total shots per game, their expected goals per shot is only bettered by Mansfield so far this season and points to Posh creating less frequent but high-quality opportunities. Whilst Peterborough are generally very good going forward, they do allow opposition sides plenty of opportunities to shoot, averaging 13 shots against each game. They've conceded 9 goals so far this season, with keeper Jed Steer ranking 3rd bottom for goals prevented, as per the FOTMOB app. My summary of Peter would be that they'll look to play. Expect them to play out from the back with plenty of possession in their own third before looking to use the pace of their forward players to get in behind Blues. Out of possession, I think they'll try and press our own back line to force a mistake and create openings for themselves. It's likely to be an entertaining game with plenty of goals, particularly as Peterborough will have played a midweek away fixture before Saturday. My prediction is a 3-1 Blues win. Keep right on.
Thanks for that, Ben. Much appreciated. Always love hearing from Brent.
I love how he told that like it was a story.
3-1. 3-1 from Ben. So that midweek game that he was on about, they drew 2-2 with Leighton Orient tonight.
Yep, just mentioned that 3 times a couple of minutes ago.
Yep. I'm just reiterating. Poku scored.
Yep.
Who was mentioned there. Now, from the things that he points out, them playing out from the back and getting caught out suits us.
Absolutely.
We've seen our work rate in that high press and how when teams try and play out, we can make them fuck up, basically, and counter on it. Do you think that signals a change back to Alfie May? A bit more mobile and a bit more suited to that press?
I probably think so. I think the Lyndon Dykes may have started anyway, but Alfie may have been ill during the week, so that's why he didn't start anyway. Which I don't think anybody knew that until after the game anyway. But yeah, I think so. I think it makes sense to go back to that lineup. With Stansfield and May, whichever way around they want to use them. But I mean, essentially, if you're pressing intelligently, then you can fit them in, can't you? So that's I think this should be a fairly open game for us, I think, and we should still be able to dominate the game. The interesting thing was, obviously, as you say, what Ben said about the possession in their own half. They spend a lot of time in their half. We have been winning the ball high up the pitch against pretty much everybody we've played. This, for me feels like it actually suits us better than any other game we've played so far. But maybe I'm starting to get all this confidence from the last few games we've had, but I'm feeling like this could be a big one for us. The only thing that does bother me, he mentioned, is the forward he mentioned a minute ago, the very, very quick lad, Jones, was it?
Yeah, double barreled now. I can't. I've literally just had it up on here.
His
Can't
name
find
is...
I've done it.
Ricky Jade Jones.
Jade Jones.
Ricky Jade Jones, isn't she like
Judo
Olympic judo? She was the one that she dodged a drug test or something prior to the Olympics. Yeah, I think so. Anyway,
yeah, Ricky Jade Jones.
Ricky Jade Jones,
quickest player in the Football League,
apparently. So if you believe everything that this guy says, which he hasn't got the best track record. So
yet. Well, yeah.
That does what if he's quick, then that is going to cause a problem because we're don't really have super quick defenders. I mean, Cochrane and Gardner Hickman can hold their own, but the other two centre backs on.
But as we mentioned after the Wrexham game, we were much more prepared for losing possession. Essentially, we knew what our drills were when we lost possession. So I'd like to think that we can take that forward and we can be aware of an opposition threat when we're out of possession. And it's going to be a threat because, as we said at the start of the season, pace isn't there with that back line. They're good at a number of things, but pace isn't one of the things that they're gifted with massively. So it's something to be aware of, isn't it?
It looks like they play
just don't let them have the ball.
Yeah. It looks like they play a 5 at the back, or say a 5 at the back. It's more of a 3 at the back and then 4 across the middle. Now I think Rotherham switched to 5 at the back on Saturday. They play a different brand of football, albeit, but we didn't seem to have any issues breaking them down. Now you'd think Peterborough are going to probably look to push more players forward because it's just in nature of the way they play that it should leave gaps for us quite a lot. This could go. I don't think we'll lose this game, but I could see it being. Remember the Southampton game at home last season? I think it was 4-3 to them.
Pure chaos.
I could see it being either something like that, where we win 4-3, or we just win comfortably like a 2-0 or a 3-0. But I don't see them beating us. Famous last words. But I think this game suits us for some reason. That's just my gut feeling, but I might be wrong.
I think the last Peterborough game that I went to, and I could be wrong here, I think they went 2-0 up, and I was in the car. Me and my mate had got back to the car just as Blues had scored a second to equalise, I think. So we were 2-0 down going into stoppage time, and I think we drew 2-2. I could be completely wrong there, but I think that was right.
Yeah, you are right. The last Peterborough game I went to was probably away from home, probably at Peterborough. Probably about 10 years ago.
I did the away game that same season, and we did a bus to it. And I can't really remember much of the game because I was very drunk.
Was it not? I thought that was the COVID. I thought the last time we played Peterborough was during COVID, but maybe.
No, I've been to Peterborough. I went there a couple of years ago and we got smashed there. Honestly,
yeah, obviously wrong. So.
But right, let's have a couple of predictions then. Well, let's have 3 lots of predictions.
I'm going to think, so I'll let you guys pick whilst I have considered my thoughts.
Okay, I'm just going to give you a reminder. You two both went with Alfie May last week.
If I knew he had the cold, I wouldn't have picked him. Probably would have gone for Iwata.
Of course you would.
He was my second choice.
But yeah, you two both went with him. I went with Stansfield, so I got the bonus point, as you can see on the table. Vegan?
So actually, it was the perfect point to pick Alfie May, wasn't it? So we both did the correct thing there. Because...
what? With him not playing?
Yeah, because... he didn't score, so...
I'm not...
I mean...
It's Dave,
picking Iwata might have been...
It might be better. I'm never sure what these rules are anymore, because you change them every week. 2-0 Stansfield.
So did anyone get the score right last week?
No.
I
went for 3-0. I think.
I went 2-1, I think, didn't I?
Yep, and I went 4-0. So no, we didn't. We all got the result right, but we didn't get the score.
Okay. Well,
so what did you just say, Dave?
2-0 Stansfield.
2-0 Blues. Stan out. Chewy, you still thinking?
Yeah, can you go?
I mean, is mine not pretty
Are you going to do it again?
From now on? No, I'm not actually. I'm going to say 7-1 Blues.
Who's going to score?
Willamson, but not all of them, Dave, before you ask. I'm just doing that because I had Stansfield last week and I have integrity and I won't go May Stansfield. So there you go. So Chewy.
Integrity.
You chose Alfie May last week, so you definitely will choose Stansfield this week.
That's not. I want to say 3-0, but I'm being pulled to that Peterborough always score feeling. So
that's why I threw the 1 in for 6-1, 7-1.
I'm gonna go 4-2 Blues. I can see goals. I think we've started to. The confidence is growing in the team now, but I just think they nearly always score, and I'll go with. This is tense.
Makes a great podcast.
I'm going to go with. I'm going to go. So I'm going to go left field here, or right field, if you will. Gardner Hickman.
Ooh.
Just, we know he can strike a good ball from distance, and Ben mentioned that they give up quite a few shots from outside the box and long distance shots. I just fancy him because there's a few times he's maybe had a chance to do that in other games. He hasn't done it. They might have the opportunity to do it here. So yeah, bit left field, if you will, but I'm going out on a I
rate that integrity, unlike the vegan who went with Stansfield after choosing Alfie May last week. So would you make any changes? The Bielik one.
I think the Bielik one, and I would bring in May for Dykes. I don't think Dykes done anything wrong, but I think May is more suited to this game because I think if we can get at them with the press, I think there's every chance we'll win that ball quite high up the pitch. So
and the type, I suppose, the type of opportunity that you might force from errors, he's going to be more suited to having the ball at his feet in those situations.
Yeah,
it's going to be less about wanting someone to hold the ball up for you or to stick something in the box. And then there's always going to be an opportunity for him later on as well. I can imagine that we will see him at some point. Now that we've got him, just to completely change the style up, not even change the style, just change the lineup. I'm with you. I think that those two changes are probably the ones to make, and I don't think there's really any need in changing anything else.
No, unless it's a
unless he
tactical
wants
switch.
To freshen it up.
There is that, but I mean, for me, that maybe doesn't happen until, because we've got a game Tuesday, haven't we, Huddersfield? Mm-hmm. So for me, that probably doesn't happen until then.
Get some fresh legs in.
Yeah, but he may you might see him make earlier subs or make more tactical substitutions based on the games ahead. I've just had a quick look. It looks like I think Alfie May scored a handful of goals against Peterborough for both Charlton and Cheltenham. So it looks like he's got a fairly good record against them. So let's hope he can keep that up.
On the week that none of us have chosen.
Yeah.
Oh, you two can't, and I
he might score second. So yeah, for me, it's just the two obvious changes. Yeah, I think Davies is going to get a game. I think Davies is probably going to be suited for the game against Huddersfield, so I think we might see him come back in for that Huddersfield game.
I think with the way that we played as well, generally over the rest of the pitch, I don't think you want to break that up.
No.
On the whole, I can see Bielik coming back in. I think that's the right thing to do. You get your captain, if he's available, you get your captain in there. You turn around to Davies and you're like, your chance will come again. Like maybe even Tuesday night, you don't know, do you? But yeah, I can't see any changes elsewhere. Personally, you watch it'll be completely different 11.
Yeah, unless they're forced. I mean, it might be that Chris Davies sees something that we don't, and he might make a few tactical changes here and there just based on. He's very, very thorough with it. He just says he watches. You notice in all his press conferences, and we'll see if he does it again this week before Peterborough. He says, I've watched every game they've played this season, and he does it in every press conference, and then he'll tell you a little bit about them. He's quite. He has a very. You can tell he worked in analytics in the past because he does talk about what he's learned from watching them play, and he'll give you snippets without giving too much away about what you learned from down to that granular level of detail. It's quite interesting.
The only thing that has just sort of popped into my head is that when we were talking about Kyprianou, when the transfer window was still open, and we were like, could he be an option? And you said that he had a bit of bite about him. He was good on the ball, but he had a bit of bite about him.
And height, he's very tall as well. He's like 6'3" or something.
Do you maybe look at the midfield then? I don't think we will. I think that we'll play our game and we'll go out and try and control it.
I think there's enough tenacity in there with Peck and Iwata. Nearly sang that then.
Go on. Go on. Just go on. Last thing on the podcast.
No.
The last thing on the podcast.
I'm not doing it. We'll just have Luke to play us out.
All right then. Okay.
I want to.
Cheers, Luke. Get that going on Saturday.
You've got to
have a few beers. Right. Enjoy the game, everyone. Enjoy your ice hockey over the weekend.
Oh, well, I'm going to miss the Blues game, so I'm going to be.
That's okay. You can give us a report
trying
next week on the ice hockey.
If I can, yes, there you go. I'm trying to see if I can get a way to watch a little bit of it, but it's probably unlikely. So
and enjoy Beverly Knight as well. So she's always good value.
Live in Dundee.
And thanks
Knights.
for listening, everybody, and enjoy the game. And until next week, keep right on.
Keep right on.
Keep right on.